I'm trying to film. Dear Luz Karime, a couple of weeks ago, I quit my job at the physical therapy office. I've had 2 weeks, don't tell anybody, 2 weeks of this nice little vacation. I've been calling it my personal spring break. I've relaxed, I've refreshed, re-energized, and starting Monday, I'm going to be working at Gala Theater in DC. I've kind of talked about the theater before. It's essentially a Hispanic theater in DC where they try to promote Latin artists as much as possible and try to connect with the Latin American community in the area. I'm going to be taking an administrative assistant position, so it's not like I'm actually acting in the theater, but I'm doing like marketing stuff and budgeting and event planning, box office stuff. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to help me put my skill set from my other jobs into good use, into something that I'm actually like super passionate about. Everyone who I've told about this job is like, okay, we'll see how it starts off, let me know when you're in a show. I don't think they mean to like demean the position I have. I think they're just like excited to see maybe I will get a role and maybe I will actually be on stage. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I'm not opposed to that possibility, so I guess I'll keep you all posted. This is a really big deal for me. I think a lot of people have to wait a really long time before they're able to actually work in the field that they studied and that they majored in. I think some people never work in the field that their degree is from. I am very fortunate that I have this opportunity where, honestly, not even that far from home, I get to do something that I've been studying since I was like in middle school, and I've known that I've loved since like I was 9 years old. That's a victory. That is a success, and I'm kind of patting myself on the back a little bit there, but I feel really good about this. I've been in this weird place where I'm trying to figure out how I measure success, and the bottom line, like the moral of the story and the point of this video, is I don't think there should be a way to measure it. I think it's just a constant pursuit of finding what makes you happy and what drives you and what's going to get you to the next place you want to be. If you're working hard, if you are doing your best, that in and of itself is a success, but you also shouldn't get too comfortable. I think there's a balance between wanting to do more to be the best you can be and understanding that working hard and doing your best is exactly the amount of effort you should be exerting, and you shouldn't have to expect the impossible out of yourself. Do I want to talk about this? Do I want to? I do. I feel like people might know who I'm talking about, but that's okay. She doesn't watch my videos. There's one person in particular who I'm not really close with. I don't think she even really likes me all that much. We're not friends, but I follow her on lots of social media, and it is really hard for me to not compare myself to her. I'm not even sure why. Like, she's been doing really well for herself, like fitness-wise and financially, and she seems to be in a good place. I know that there's a lot of other stuff going on because, you know, raising a kid is not easy, relationships are not easy, work and school and friendships, and there's a lot of other stuff going on in her life that I know nothing about and I'm never going to know about, especially because I don't know her. All I ever see is the good stuff that she decides to post. And for some reason, my brain has made it personal. My brain has made it about why am I not there? Why am I not having the same successes that she is? Which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I, on top of not knowing this girl, should just be celebrating her. Like, as women, we should be boosting each other up and celebrating each other's victories. And I'm not doing that. I'm assuming that because she's successful, I'm not. That's ridiculous. That's unacceptable, and that needs to stop now. Social media puts us in a place where I think we're able to see too much of each other's lives, but mostly too much of the good things of each other's lives. So it's really easy to start comparing yourself to each other. Because Facebook and Instagram and all of that are the places where people post announcements and big news like that, we feel like that's all we ever see. Truth is, nobody's going to post about the hard things going on in their lives. Sometimes someone might vent or mention that they're going through something and they need some prayer, but no one goes to the details of their negative aspects. They only want to, you know, show the highlights, which is why everyone looks perfect in all their Instagram pictures, and anytime they post an update about, I went to XYZ place on Facebook, it looks like they're really involved and really active. You don't get to see the fact that they're tired, or they had to raise a whole lot of money to do this, or that the only reason they look at an Instagram post is because their friend did their makeup, or whatever. You don't see the negative everyday aspect. Instagram is one where I don't really post a whole lot, especially not pictures of myself. partially because I don't really do many things, so I don't feel like anything's like worthy of like posting, partially because I have a lot of self-esteem issues, so I'm not the kind of person to like post selfies of myself all the time. And so it's really easy for me to get caught up in comparing myself to all of my friends who are constantly going out and going to all these events and like looking great all the time, even if they're just at home. I'm just like sitting there kind of belittling myself when I look at my feed, and I have to sit down and remind myself that that's not a good basis for comparison. A lot of the reason so many people are so involved in so many things is because most of the people I follow are in college. College has a lot of events. I'm working now. I haven't got the time for all that. I'm not going to all these places. I'm not doing all these shows, so of course I'm not going to post as much as they are. As for just like the regular everyday selfies, it's not necessarily that I don't look as good or whatever you want to title it. They're just more confident than I am, and there is absolutely no shame in that. I absolutely applaud them for having the confidence to post pictures of themselves, and that doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to, or that if I were to post one, it wouldn't get as much attention. I don't know. Like, how does that even matter? It shouldn't. I think a big one for me is relationships, because I haven't been in a successful relationship in how long? Well, I don't know. I guess ever, because if it were successful, I'd still be in it. Because I know that's one of my weak areas, I guess, I am very aware of when people are celebrating anniversaries or like have like gifts from the boyfriend or whatever. Like, just they're posting something about their relationship and their significant other and how happy they are together and how good this person is to them. And part of me, of course, is always like, I want a little bit of that. But more than anything, part of me feels like I'm not adequate because I'm not at that point in my life yet. See family after a long time, or like old friends, and they're like always, immediately, the question is always, so isn't there anyone in your life yet? Everyone always asks about significant others. Some people will ask about jobs, some people will ask about like my driving or whatever, but no matter who it is, everyone wants to know if I'm dating yet. And because other people are placing so much of an emphasis on this, everyone's so focused on it, and so I've bought into it. I really have. I'm just kind of like, you're right, maybe I should be seeing someone, but I'm not. And I've let that get to me as if I'm like failing at something, which is not the case. I'll be honest, I don't even feel that lonely. I don't. I feel like the only reason I want a significant other is to say I've had a significant other. Like, when someone asks me, I want to give them an answer different than, no, not yet. And that's the wrong reason to get into any kind of relationship with anybody. Between the hours that I'm going to be working and with my church stuff and trying to like catch up with old friends and stuff, I'm not going to have the time to dedicate to a relationship. So it's not that I'm failing, it's just not my time. It's not my turn. And the sad truth is that's something I need to keep reminding myself about. I'm starting this new position on Monday. It's going to be a challenge, it's going to be a very welcome change, and it's going to open, I think, a lot of really great doors for me. And I need to learn to look at that and say that this one really big thing is enough. Not everything has to be perfect. I don't need to move out of my parents' house tomorrow. I don't need to have my own place or like buy the newest car. All things come at the time that they need to, and I'm allowed to work on things at my own pace. And just because somebody else is already there doesn't mean that I'm not doing things right for myself. I'm preaching because I need to hear these words come out of my own mouth. I need to hear my voice saying that it's okay to be where I am right now. But hopefully this might be a reminder to you too, that you are allowed to be exactly where you are. And don't forget to celebrate your victories, great and small, and to be okay with celebrating the victories of others. Love, Sammy.